Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. Right, like all my videos, there is a story to all of them. This is no different. So I'm gonna take you very quickly through the story with this car. I already gave you some clues of what's happening, plus the title, thumbnail will might also give you some clues. So this car is from a colleague of mine at work. I had this car here about 2 months ago to do a full service on it. No problems at all, did the service, off she goes. About a week ago, maybe just over a week to be honest, yeah, maybe just over a week ago, she rang me. I can't remember time of the day. She rang me and she said there was a problem with the car, she couldn't start the car. And I said, what do you mean? It's not starting, it's cranking. She said, no, I can't even turn the key. And I said, look, just wiggle the key and try to move the key at the same time as you move the steering. So as you can imagine, my thought was that the steering lock was holding the key in place and it was not allowing it to turn. And I said, if you can't do it, if you can't start it up, just ring me back. She never rang back, so I never thought of it again, to be fair with you. Last night was about 7:30, so she works in the same place as I do, but she works different shifts. Anyway, it was about 7:30, and she rang me. So she was just leaving work. Well, by this time, 7:30, she was already home, I guess. But she rang me, and she said, Louis, I need your help. And I said, what's happening? And she said, I can't turn the engine off. And I thought, what? I said, yeah, I can't turn the key backwards to turn the engine off. I thought, okay. I said, look, other than that, is the steering turning okay, everything? I said, yeah, I just drove back home and I can't turn it off. I said, okay, look, drive it to me and don't let it go off, obviously, just in case if you can't turn it off, if you let the engine go off, then you have to turn the key off to turn it back on. And I said, just drive careful, come here, I'll have a quick look. Indeed, she came, and when she got here, better and behold, I tried to turn it off, and the key was completely locked in that position, in the position 2. Obviously, you could turn to crank, the car wouldn't crank because it was already running, but you could turn it to the crank position and it would spring back to position 2, or ignition on, but you couldn't turn it back. And it was absolutely stuck in there. What I've done then is I've sprayed a little bit of silicone grease through the gap of the key, tried to wiggle the key, this and the other, that wouldn't work. Then I've gentled start with a small hammer. I've started to try to tap the lock underneath, and at the same time I was wiggling the key. Tried to move it backwards, and yeah, it took me about, I don't know, maybe 10-20 minutes. I actually managed to turn the key off. I then tried to spray a little bit more grease, tried to see if I could get it to work. I managed to get it to move again back and forwards, but to pass from the off position to the on position is extremely difficult. You need to be here tapping it. So I didn't want to do much more because I thought, I don't know yet what's going on, but I thought if it's repairable, I don't want to be here forcing everything and break it even more. So I said to the lady, look, I can drop you back home, but she rang her daughter, I think, to pick her up. And she left the car here. So yeah, today we're going to try to figure out what happened with this and try to see what we can do. She has, I think, 3 keys for this car. I only have 1. I'm working tonight, so she's going to bring me the other keys. So whichever repair we're going to attempt on this, I don't know which one we're going to be able to, but whichever attempt we try to do on this, we should be able, I want to make sure that all the keys will work as normal. So I don't know yet what the approach is going to be, if we're going to replace the lock or the ignition barrel. I don't know yet, guys. So the first thing we're going to do is try to dismantle all of this and try to get to the bottom of it. Try to actually understand what happened. Okay, and the first thing we're going to try to do, guys, is to remove the barrel. So this entire ignition lock and ignition switch here, this side, etc., all of this is secured with 2 of those security bolts that Audi and Volkswagen uses. right there. Okay, so these bolts, I would have to find a way to open a groove right there halfway through to be able to take them off, but we should be able to remove just the barrel without having to remove the wall steering lock. So I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how, and we'll go from there. But we're going to try to take just these. The only problem with these at the moment is I'm gonna need to turn the ignition on in order to be able to do that, because these will not come off with the ignition in the off position. So we're gonna have to try to get that out somehow, or turn it back on into the on position. Okay, so let's gonna see if I can turn it on. Come on. Right, finally managed to get these out. So obviously I struggled to put this back onto the on position. As you can see, ignition is on. Obviously the key is not found because I had to take the actually key out, so I had to push that tiny pin that holds the blade to the actually key housing to there, and now as I push this in, with this, okay, sorry guys, I pulled the key out. You need to wiggle it a little bit, but everything just came off. Okay, now we're gonna unplug the antenna and see where the problem is, if the problem is here or if the problem is in there. I'm gonna believe it's gonna be here where the key goes in, but we'll have a better look. Okay, and after just a tiny bit of investigation, looks like my problem is indeed in there. So as you can see, if I put a screwdriver here on this square slot right at the bottom, which is where the actually driving thing for the lock goes, this sort of thing here. If I put this here, as you're going to see, on, off, on, as you can see, crank position. Obviously asked me to depress the clutch, but it doesn't really matter. But this side of things seems to be good. So it really looks like my problem is actually here. Okay guys, so I think I got these wrong. As I was checking this barrel, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. Every time I put the key in and out, he turns straight away and locks these perfectly. So I came back here to try to understand exactly what's going on, and I actually managed to replicate the problem. So right now the steering is locked, as you see, it's locked. But if let me put this like this, let me place the phone. Okay, you might not see everything, but what you're gonna see is that I can't turn the key on now. Here, so it is definitely something on the lock. So, oh dear, how am I gonna do this? Because I don't want to have to take the lock out. Oh dear me. Right, let me start to try to dismantle the lock from this end. I believe it's gonna be, I've seen something here on this side, let me show you. Oh dear me, put this back, sorry about that guys. I've seen this little cap here. I don't know why I have a feeling that this is gonna be a sort of not anti-theft, it's going to be a sort of spring-loaded mechanism that's going to lock everything in place, and I'm going to have to take that out. Usually the locks, they do have something along those lines, and that little cap seems like that, so I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do this. There's a plastic clip that's going to have to come out. I can see that easily here, this plastic clip here, you see this C-clip, so this is going to have to come out. But I don't think the rest of it will come out unless I take that off. Let me think. Let me try to work this out. Okay, so let me show you how far I got so far. So far I got the airbag out. No rocket science to take this airbag, although you need a little bit of fiddling with it. So obviously I just got it out. So what you do have, the airbag goes like this. What you do have is these springs here. They go underneath there. So from the other side, so when this is in place, the spring is going to be, hold on, the spring is going to go here, around and out. So you need from the other side, like that, you need to push it like down, so the spring comes through here, and you need to do, so the spring, so that little bit, you need, in that case on the top, you're gonna have to push it down, so it comes on this gap and it slides out, and you need to do that on both sides. Once you do that, it comes out. Then to remove the plug, you just push this little tab back, you press it down, you press it like that, and the plug comes off. Now I already got the screws out in there, the security bolts. Okay, so the way I did it was with a chisel like this. So I use this one right here in the corner. I just tap it, and as you can see, you can still see the marks where the chisel went into the bolt. So these bolts are not extreme, so there it is. You can see in there where he went. So these bolts, they are not extremely torqued, because the head, which is here, which is what they use to the bolts down, it snaps way before they are like over tight. In the meantime, guys, I managed to get that circlip out, which is here. I managed to take this bit off, and this pin that goes somewhere in there, but nothing else comes out, and things will start to get a little bit tricky. Plus, I don't know yet if I'm going to reuse this lock, but I'm interested to see exactly where it failed, purely because I have a spare one from a steering rack I bought ages ago for a Skoda, which I think the internals are going to be the same, but until I get this one out, I don't know. But the problem is, even though the bolts are out, these does not come off until this whole assembly comes out. So we're going to have to obviously take the steering wheel, and only then we'll be able to take that off. Okay guys, and I want to apologize, because I do think you can actually remove this steering lock without removing everything. I've just noticed that now, because to remove this, so the steering lock goes in here like that, or the ignition lock goes like that, and you can see, let me actually put the phone down somehow. Okay, this should be better. So the steering lock goes in there. When this is in place, obviously this is going to be upside down, okay, but I'll do it like this, it's easy to show. If I push all these down, this ledge here goes underneath this tab. So as you can see in there, now, well, I can show you this. There is a tab here, look, that you can push. So this effectively goes like that underneath there. You can see there, but there is one on each side. So all I had to do really, when this is in place, all I had to do was to push that back, force it back until I release this side. As soon as this side came out like this, the other side kind of slides out and it came off. I actually removed it, even with this still in place. So I didn't have to remove the airbag and steering and all of that. But I do these mistakes to share with you so you don't have to. So again, you don't need to take all of these out. This comes out easily like that. So my next step now, guys, is to go on the bench, dismantle this further, and try to figure out exactly what went wrong, and decide if I'm gonna reuse this lock or if I'm gonna use the other one, the spare one I have. Okay, and as soon as you grind this cap off, eventually it will come out. It was a spring between this cap and there. Oh, there is. It's actually there. Okay, so this comes off, and now I'm gonna guess it's gonna have to be that tiny pin might need to come off as well, I think, because that, yeah, that's gonna have to come out somehow as well. I'm gonna have to pull it out. Okay, so once everything is drilled out, so this is the bit that comes at the end. So this was one piece. I've drilled everything out until this piece came out. This piece is what goes here, it goes in here somehow to lock this thing, something like this, I guess. Oh dear. So yeah, this is dismantled, but then inside I'm not 100% sure. So this comes out as soon as you take that off. This just springs off. Although you need to turn the ignition to the on position, I believe. That's what I had to do. But inside, I found this tiny piece of metal. Let me show you. That I don't think that was me, because you see that? But I haven't seen yet where this is coming from. Let me see if I can get this spring out. There's a spring in here. The spring is intact. Yeah, the spring is in one piece. There's nothing missing. Whoa! There, huh? Looks like the spring is broken, but it might just be me. It might just be me. So where that piece of metal came from, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out, and I can't see anything. Oh, there is indeed. I've just seen this now. Look at this. There's more here. So I'm not sure where this is coming from, but judging by this place, why is this for? Where is this spring from? See, the spring is even smashed up. You see, it's all done because of jamming the thingy. There's a, oh no, sorry. There's more metal here. I just don't know where this is from. Is this really needed in here? Because this has the system for the automatic gearbox, which is something that goes in here with a pin in there to allow you to only take the key when it's in park. So I don't know if it's anything to do with that. I think the best way, I'm gonna have to wash this down, clean it down, and then put it all back together, but what I'm gonna do for now is just put all these back together. Just like this. Just put all these back together without that spring, which I don't know really where that is from. Just make sure there's no debris here. So this is gonna go like that, I think. This, oh, there we go. It goes only in one position as well. There we go. I think is right. Right, let me figure this out and then I'll get back to you guys. Okay guys, so I figured it all out and I'm quite confident to put this lock back without any issues. So the two bits that are missing, they are from, you're not going to be probably able to see, I'm going to try to zoom in, they are from there. Okay, can you see there where they are missing? Okay, so that's where they smashed from. And the spring looks like to me, so this pin was there and was going all the way up to here. Okay, and I believe this spring is from there, from this here at the back, because when I took this off was no spring here pushing this down. So I believe this spring somehow came off, managed to go all the way down and start to smash that in there somehow. So I'm quite confident to reutilize this. I'm going to clean it, put it all back together, grease it obviously, put it all back together, extensively test, make sure everything works perfect, everything works fine, and then that's it. I think that will be a fix. Again, I could just remove this one out and try to reutilize. The problem with this one at the moment is that it looks like the plug on the switch at the back, it is slightly different, so I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to try to reutilize this one. So let's kind of wash it, clean it, and grease it again, and then assemble it all and try on the car. Okay, so all washed, as you can see, with brake cleaner, everything's cleaned, and now we're going to put it all back together. Okay, all done. Everything's back in place. Everything's working fine. So I'm just going to show you that when you put the key on now. So obviously it needs to be like this. And it's working absolutely perfect. I'll show you then on the car, but it is working. Obviously without the key it's difficult to turn, but it's doing the job perfectly. It's not catching, it's not nothing, it's working absolutely perfect. Okay, as you can see, it's beautiful. So it was those two bits of metal and that spring that got loose that were obviously smashing this up, that were jamming the lock. Quite confident that this is going to work now. It's just doing the job fine. So yeah, let's kind of put it back on the car and give you a last test, make sure it's working properly. I'm going to replace the bolts here, most likely I'm going to get different bolts. I'm not going to put those security ones, just put some normal bolts, and that's it. Looks like we have a fix. Okay, so let me grab these old screws, they are rubbish obviously, and everything's back in place. Just two quick notes, as I already mentioned it. So at the top I put two normal 13 millimeters head bolts, X bolts, and just a quick note, the last bit I had to drill, if you remember, on the side of the lock, it stays here on this side. I've covered that up with a little bit of silicone just to cover it up so no dust or anything gets inside, and that's it. So let's gonna give it a couple tests. Obviously I already did, but obviously keen, ignition on, is working perfect. Okay, let's gonna start this thing. There he is, start it up, absolutely fine. Off, beautiful, that's it. So in the end guys, just a broken lock inside, or those two bits broken. Guys, is it gonna happen again? Who knows, but putting another lock probably would make no difference, because who knows, would break in the future again. I don't know if they all break in the same place or if this is a common issue. I'm not 100% sure. Either way guys, we got it fixed, we figured it out and we got it fixed, and that's all it matters. So with no further ado guys, hope you enjoyed the video, hope you have learned something. If you do have any questions, any comments, you know how it works, put them below, and like always, thank you for watching.